couldn't wrap my mind, not her, not TyNesha.
It was supposed to be a fun night out with friends. They went live on Facebook just to show what a great time they were having. But instead, they captured something else, something so horrible that it would haunt them for the rest of their lives. This is the story of TyNesha Hammonds. Let's dive in. TyNesha Hammonds was born on October 20th, 1998 in Macon, Georgia. We don't know much about her childhood or her life, but what we do know is that she was very close with her mom, Renata Hammonds, and had a son, Amari, in March 2018. And from all the photos and posts on her Facebook, you can tell that she really enjoyed being a first-time mom. She was always posting pictures of her son on Facebook. It was clear that she loved him so much and was just so proud to be his mom. Her friends described her as a loving and doting mom who wanted the best for her son. And now, she won't even get to see Amari start school. On December 23rd, 2018, TyNesha decided to go out and hang out with friends. Sadly, she never came back. Now, to understand this story, I'll need to go back a little to a woman called Bridgette Flowers. In September 2013, she posted a birthday message on Facebook for her twin sons saying, "I would like to wish my twin boys, Jashon Jackson and Jamon Jackson, a very happy 13th birthday. Hope your day be special." Bridget was married to this guy called Jasento Flowers, and he was just bad news. He had been in prison for a long time due to narcotics possession and was released on parole in 2001. Jasento was jealous and possessive, and he had violent outbursts whenever he saw Bridget talking to other guys. Needless to say, this marriage did not work out, and the two separated. But even after the separation, Jasento could not let Bridget go, and even threatened to take her and his. On February 14th, 2014, Bridget was shopping at Walmart when Jasento appeared out of nowhere and started punching her. A surveillance camera captured the confrontation and showed Jasento walking away, leaving Bridget unconscious. He was arrested and put in jail for only a week, and then they released him. Like, seriously? This guy had threatened Bridget so many times and had even shown that he was capable of doing anything, and then they just let him go? How messed up is that? So now that he was free, Jasento went and finished what he started. He found Bridget and took her life in cold blood. He was later arrested and sentenced to life in prison without parole. But he had already accomplished what he wanted, and Bridget was no more. You might be asking, how are these stories even connected? Well, Bridget was TyNesha's aunt, and when she died, it really affected her and her family. In fact, one of her posts on Facebook, she talked about how broken her family was when they lost Bridget. She cussed out Jasento for taking her aunt away, saying that she got nightmares about him every time she tried to sleep. She also had gone as far to mention how tragedy really hit her grandmother, and that one time when they'd all gone to court, Jasento smiled at her. How messed up is that? You take someone's life and then you smile at their loved ones? That's really low, even for a cold-blooded killer. But the most affected people in this were Jashon and Jamon. They were only teens when they lost their mom. Can you imagine growing up knowing that someone you trusted took your mom away? Jasento was not their biological father, but they trusted him and saw him as a father figure since he was there for so much of their lives. Now, imagine the anger and resentment they felt, knowing he was the reason why they no longer had a mother. The twins had to move in with relatives, but it was not the same anymore. Their innocence was already stolen from them, and now they were completely different people. They started hanging around with wrong crowds and getting into trouble. When they turned 18, something terrible happened that would ruin their lives and everyone around them. It all started with a fight at Northeast High School. A 16-year-old boy known as Kendrick Davis and his friend were streaming live on Facebook bragging about firing at several houses that belonged to the twins' friends. When they saw one of the twins, Jamon, watching them, they declared war on them. In response, Jamon went out and gathered 4 of his friends, including TyNesha's brother. He told them about Kendrick's threats, and they all decided to confront Kendrick. But when they got there, things got really bad, and the two groups started firing at each other. Kendrick was hit in the process, and he sadly lost his life. And as if this was not enough, Jamon's crew drove by Kendrick's mother's house and just started firing. I don't know why they felt the need to do that, since Kendrick was already gone, but they did it anyway, and this really angered Kendrick's friends, who swore revenge. Jamon and his friends were later arrested and charged with homicide. Usually in such cases, everyone involved in the shootout gets charged because any of them could have fired the fatal bullet. Now, let's get back to Tanisha. On that day that she went out, she met up with Jamon's twin brother, Jashon, and 3 other friends. Tanisha was driving while Jashon, who was seated next to her, was live streaming on Facebook. In this chilling video, you see Tanisha and her friends talking and having fun. Suddenly, a bunch of gunshots could be heard, and Tanisha was gone. Nobody else was injured in the attack. Then the vehicle crashed, and the camera fell to the car's floorboard. Everyone was shouting and panicking when they saw Tanisha was hit. Then, someone called 911. When the cops arrived at the scene, Tanisha was lying out from the driver's seat of the car and was pronounced dead at the scene. None of her other friends had been injured.
She was pronounced here behind us here at 8:50.
Jashon would later tell the cops that he believed it was retaliation for the incident with his brother and that he was supposed to be the target. Jashon said he was sitting in the front passenger seat. He stated that his brother had just been arrested for murder in East Macon and he believed it was retaliation. He also stated that he should have been driving and that he should have been the one shot. Then, 12 hours after the incident, Tanisha's mom's home was also fired at, just like the others had done to Kendrick's mother's house. And then, a few months later, one of the guys who were there that day was also gunned down. The crime shook up the Bloomfield neighborhood, with some residents feeling unsafe in their own homes. Authorities said that Tanisha's case was actually the 40th homicide in the same area to happen in that year alone.
40 homicides, sir. We had 30 for last year. And we have, 5 or 6 more days to go this year? This is scary.
Residents were even scared to let their children play outside.
Keep my kids in the house. And it's sad, you know what I'm saying? Because they want to come out and play, but it's too dangerous.
Tanisha's family was totally devastated when they learned about the tragic incident.
They actually had to tell me, they mentioned the white sheet. I don't think she's here anymore. I couldn't wrap my mind. Not her, not TyNesha.
Tanisha's distraught mother, Renata, shared her grief on Tanisha's Facebook memorial page. In one post, she wrote, "I miss you so much. They just don't know they took a good person. That night, I wish you would have stayed home." Meanwhile, the video of the incident was circulating all over the internet. Despite Facebook having deleted it, some people managed to download and post it on other platforms, including YouTube and a website called Flyheight, which is usually filled with provocative user uploads. In just a short amount of time, the video already had 200,000 views. Tanisha's family did not want the video out there, and so they wrote to Flyheight asking them to delete it.
Once it's on the internet, it's out there. But I'm like, much damage control y'all could do, please take it down.
They worried that Tanisha's son would grow up and see the video and know the gruesome way his mom died.
Amari's not gonna be a baby forever. Her son's gonna have a social media one day. I would hate for him to come across their video.
After several months, Flyheight finally deleted the video, but it popped up again on several YouTube pages. Guys, this case is just tragic. When did it become so easy to take someone's life? If you disagree with someone, do you just take them out? Revenge is a vicious cycle. It never ends. And the worst part of this is, it even involves innocent people. Such cases will never end unless one side decides to be the bigger person and let it go. Now, an innocent boy will have to live without his mother because of a senseless fight that could have easily been solved if people just talked and listened to each other. Amari is now 4 years old and lives with his grandmother. No one has ever been arrested or charged with Tanisha's death, though the case is still open. Police ask anyone with information to come forward or make an anonymous call to Crime Stoppers at 1-877-68-CRIME. Ever since Tanisha died, Christmas has not been the same for Tanisha's family because it reminds them of what they lost because of this tragic incident. I do hope that one day they'll be able to find peace and closure. That's the end of our video today. What do you think about this case? Will Tanisha's family ever find justice? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section.